Hi, I'm Dr. Jim Siever. It's time for a tropical forecast here on YouTube. And believe it or not, there is hardly anything going on, tropically speaking, in the Atlantic Sea basin. Doesn't happen very often this time of year, but here's a look at the big picture. Obviously, nothing happening out here from the east into the central areas. We've got a couple of that's actually some of the little bit of remnants, I should say. Victor, we'll get to what's happening up here also with what's left with Sam. But coming down here to Africa, we're watching the waves that are coming off of Africa now. Not nearly as pronounced or profound as they were earlier on in the season. Of course, we have this out here. That's a pretty good little tropical wave. But it's just a wave. There's no problems with tropical waves. It's just a wave of energy, but it's not going to be organized. It's not going to have any kind of spin to that at this point anyway. And by the way, if you also look carefully, so you see this is moving westerly. Look what's happening right up here. To see how that spins off and then goes to the right and heads to the north. So you've got different winds working against each other out here. So that's a good thing. We want that because then it doesn't allow for anything to develop from a hurricane. Now, as we come in here into the Caribbean, okay, there's a lot of convection. There's some showers going on. So the convection, anywhere you see that darker red, it's actually that lift that's going on in the atmosphere. And so we have instability coming in from the south. It goes over Cuba, goes over Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Jamaica. But if you look carefully, at the top clouds are heading this way to the north. Look underneath the clouds, though. If you look really carefully to see how there's the clouds at the surface are actually heading to the south. So the clouds above are heading north, the clouds below are heading south. So when you have this going on in the atmosphere, you're not going to have any tropical development either, so we want that to continue. Quick check, and this will be the last check of Sam. It's no longer a tropical system. It has lost its tropical characteristics. You see what's left of the low pressure spitting out of here, but the rest of the low, it's going to move towards Iceland. Greenland is up here. I mean, how often do I talk about Greenland and Iceland during a tropical forecast? Not very often. And so we probably won't be talking about it either. Now, this is the one thing that the National Hurricane Center is tracking that has a chance, and I mean it's just a very low chance, but a chance of organizing. So upper level winds are pulling a lot of stuff this way. This is trying to head towards the U.S., but it's just not going to organize. It just isn't. When you have, again, competing forces, there's a front that's going to be coming off the U.S. coast, and put all that together, it means not much is going to happen. So here's a better look at it. So this is where it is. That's where the low would be. It's not really spinning as of yet. You see this line here? That's a cold front. That's the one that came through, southeast Texas, bringing us great weather now, finally. Well, what's going to happen in the next couple of days? Nothing. 0% chance of organizing in the next couple of days. However, as this drifts up here to the north, now this is not a strong cold front. It's actually very weak. As it moves out towards the Atlantic, it's going to dissipate. It's going to kind of disappear, fall apart, however you want to describe it, which will allow this to kind of sit out here off the east coast and just slowly work its way up here. So in 5 days, there's a 10% chance that something might happen. So in other words, 9 times out of 10, nothing's going to happen here. 1 time out of 10, possibly something could happen. And even then, it looks like it stays offshore. And then see how the circle, the oval, is leaning this direction? That's the direction that it would be going. So it'd be moving away from the U.S. coast most likely and not towards it. The question, the problem would be, is if it's close to the Carolinas, Cape Hatteras, it could have an influence that way. But even then, only a 10% chance. So not much going on there, but it's still pretty interesting. Okay, Wanda is the next name. I don't think we're going to see it this week, but as I mentioned yesterday too, we're not done. There's going to be some type of system. Now, again, we're probably going to get to this, our supplemental list, which is the new list that came out for this year. So every time if we run out of hurricane names, we're going to go to this list, which is, I guess, something to look forward to, maybe in a kind of a strange way. So that's the forecast for today. We'll keep our eye on what's happening there off the East Coast, and hopefully everything will continue to be just as quiet as it is right now. See you tomorrow.